To find the x-intercepts, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. Now, in this case, we have a degree 3 polynomial. And the reason I know that is because I have 3 separate x's. All right, so I'm going to set x plus 2 equal to 0, x minus 3 equal to 0, and x plus 5 equal to 0. When I solve, I get x equals negative 2, x equals 3, and x equals negative 5. So if I write my x-intercepts, they would be negative 2, 0, 3, 0, and negative 5, 0. Here's another problem, and our goal is to find the x-intercepts. I have a degree 3, which means I could have 3 real solutions or x-intercepts or zeros. So what I'm going to do, I notice that I have an x in each. So I'm going to factor out an x. So when I divide out an x in each, I am left over with x squared plus x minus 20. So next, my goal is to factor this piece right here. So if I factor that, I have x plus 5 and x minus 4. And the way I got that is I took 20 and I found factors of 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. That subtract to give me 1. So next, I'm going to take each factor, 1, 2, 3, and set it equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve each one. So x equals 0, x equals negative 5, and x equals 4. So my final solutions would be 0, 0, negative 5, 0, and 4, 0. Let's try one last problem. This time I have 4 terms. When I have 4 terms, I'm going to group them and I'm going to factor by grouping. In this first one, I'm going to factor out an x squared. When I divide out an x squared of each, I'm left with 2x minus 1. The second one, I'm going to factor out the negative, and in common I have 4, so I'm going to divide out a negative 4 in each. A negative divided by a negative is a positive 2x minus 1. Next up, I'm going to factor again. I have a term there and a term there. In common, I have a 2x minus 1, and when I divide out a 2x minus 1 out of each, I'm left with an x squared minus 4. Next up, I notice here I can factor that again. That's a difference of 2 perfect squares. So that's x minus 2 and x plus 2. So finally, I'm going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So 2x minus 1 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. So I have x equals negative 2, x equals positive 2. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, so I have 2x equals 1. Divide by 2, so x equals 1/2. And it is okay to have a fraction. So last, I'm going to write my answers as x-intercepts, 1/2, 0, 2, 0, and negative 2, 0 for my final answers.